It's time for another episode of You Can Make This Too. Hey everyone, it's Dora from flippinghouseandpancakes.com, and today we're doing another episode of You Can Make This Too. We are going to make matzo balls. This is an easy recipe. Tastes delicious in soup, and if you don't know how to make it, why not? You need to know how to make this. This is easy. You can do this. I'm going to make it in my kitchen, and you can make it in yours. All right, let's get started. We're going to start with 2 eggs. I cracked 2 eggs and checked them. I've got them in my bowl right here. I am going to take a fork and just beat them up a little bit. Beating the eggs is what's going to help make your matzo balls light and fluffy. Now, a lot of recipes, that was it. We didn't need to beat it a lot, just a little bit. A lot of recipes involve seltzer. The bubbles help your matzo balls become light. My recipe doesn't have any seltzer in it, but when we beat our eggs, don't worry, we'll be good. All right, so we have 2 eggs in here. We're going to take a 1/4 cup of water. Guys, this is super easy. You can totally do this. 1/4 cup of water, and to that I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of oil. I'm using avocado oil today, but you can use any light flavored oil you want. Safflower, canola, vegetable, even a very light olive oil if you really want, but remember that the olive oil, you will taste that flavor. So keep that in mind. If it doesn't bother you, great. I'm not using schmaltz, I'm not using anything like that. Straight up oil. Okay, so we've got our 2 eggs, 1/4 cup of water, 1/4 cup of oil. Not too bad so far, right? All right, got my salt here. We are gonna put a 1/2 teaspoon of salt in this. Mind you, this recipe right here that we're doing makes 8 matzo balls. If you need more than that, make sure you're doubling or tripling, okay? So it was a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. We're gonna put a 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder. That also helps us get a little more air in our matzo balls. We like them like light and fluffy. If you like them nice and dense, then you don't have to beat your mixture so much. You'll get it, okay? And we're gonna put a 1/4 teaspoon of onion powder. If you don't want the onion powder in it, you can leave it out. If you want to add pepper instead of onion powder, you can do that too. All right, because I'm not going to add pepper to mine. I'm going to beat this again and get it all nice and beaten up. So far, this isn't too complicated, right? We're doing well. Want to beat that up? Okay, get those nice kind of bubbles going. All right, that looks pretty good. Nice, a little frothy. We have one more ingredient. Was this hard? Not hard. We've got 1/2 cup of matzo meal. 1/2 cup of matzo meal. You can find that in your local kosher section, in your grocery store. Okay, and that's it. I'm gonna beat them all together. Make sure it's all nice and wet. Beat it all up. I like to scrape down the edges of my bowl. I'm gonna beat it all up just like that. It is too liquidy. Do you see it? You cannot shape this right now. The next trick for making your matzo balls is that you must refrigerate your matzo ball batter. We're gonna put this in the refrigerator. It needs to stay there for at least 20 minutes, but in reality, mine is probably gonna be in my fridge for an hour or 2. Okay, we're going to chill this. It's gonna be nice and cold so we can scoop it out, shape it into balls, and drop it in our boiling soup. And we will come back when this is nice and chilled and my soup is boiling. Okay, my matzo balls have been chilling and they are nice and ready. You can see how thick they became. I can literally cut a line through them. I'm actually gonna divide this right up into 8 just like that, because that makes it easier when I'm scooping them out. So let's do it. I got my hands all nice and wet. Hopefully they'll be wet enough. I might have to wet them in the middle, but I got my soup at a nice rolling boil. Okay, you want to drop your matzo balls into a boiling soup. All right, not just water, not just whatever, a boiling soup, boiling broth. You could drop them into boiling water if you want. You'll see I picked up I scooped it, I rolled it because my hands are wet. It's not sticking and it makes a nice shape. Let me drop that in. If you don't drop it into a boiling liquid, it's not going to do what you want it to do. Okay, so we are going to scoop this out. You can do it in water, but I find it doesn't have quite as much flavor. All right, I'm gonna make 8 of these right now. Remember, this batch was for 8. If you need more, double it. It doubles and triples beautifully. Matzo balls freeze beautifully, so if you wanted to make them ahead of time, you can freeze them on a sheet pan or in a pan with a little bit of soup, and use them later. Just drop them into soup later. That works perfectly fine too. After you've cooked them, that is. Okay. One more, and I really need some more water, so give me 1 sec. Whew. I need to wet my hands just a little bit to get that last one, because it was starting to stick. Okay, that water on your hands makes a huge difference, so make sure to have your hands wet. Once you have all your matzo balls in, you're going to cover your soup and let it boil. Let it boil for a good 20-30 minutes. And then you can turn your soup down, or you can eat them, but they should puff up all nice and delicious. We'll come back when these are all nice and cooked, so you can see, woo, I'm getting a steam bath here. We'll come back in just a few minutes and see how the matzo balls look. All right, the matzo balls are done. You can see they're all floating up on the top of the soup, which is exactly what you want to see. They're boiling up. I'm going to probably cover this up and let them cook another few minutes, but they're pretty much ready. They look so nice and fluffy. My whole house smells delicious right now. I'm really excited to try them a little bit later. I made these in my kitchen. You know that you now can make them in yours. So if you enjoyed learning how to cook matzo balls and you want to learn something else, make sure to like and subscribe to my channel. Hit the bell for notifications so you find out every time I upload a new video. And of course, as always, check out my website, flippinghousesandpancakes.com.